First off, I'd like to wish my wife a happy anniversary. We're married 31 years ago today. Wouldn't be here tonight without her help, love, and support. Like Mike said, my name is Kevin O'Donnell. I'm the father of two incredible adult children. I'm also a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. The following are lyrics from a song on the A Star is Born movie soundtrack. The lyrics really resonate with me as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. They remind me of my life prior to seeking help. I was going to sing them, but just trust me, that wouldn't be a good idea. This isn't a comedy show. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Takes a lot to change a man. Hell, it takes a lot to try. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Nobody knows what waits for the dead. Nobody knows what waits for the dead. Some folks believe in the things they've heard and the things they've read. Nobody knows what waits for the dead. I'm glad I can't go back to where I came from. I'm glad those days are gone, gone for good. But if I could take spirits from my past and bring them here, you know I should. You know I should. I'm grateful that the choices I made after the abuse didn't have fatal consequences for me. In the movie, the character Jack's choices led him to suicide. That could have been me. Jack, like so many others, thought things were hopeless and were never going to get better. I'm here to tell you that it can get better with some hard work and help from others. Maybe it's time. I believe everyone is writing a book over the course of their life. Each of our books are filled with memories of happy or sad times. Some memories will make you laugh, and some will make you cry. We can't control everything that happens to us in our lives, but we do have the opportunity to learn from these experiences. These lessons can help us to take the steps necessary to a happier and healthier life that we all deserve. I would like to share with you a few chapters from my book. The trauma from the abuse left me feeling like I was incarcerated for 25 years. Some of the other feelings that stayed with me were dissociation, isolation, anger, embarrassment, and depression. These feelings were like my cellmates. I started serving my sentence around the fifth grade. My parents got divorced a few years earlier. My seven siblings and I lived with my mother after the divorce. Mom had a boyfriend. He was to become the warden of my prison. The warden was the father figure with all the power that came with the job. Mom worked a lot to make ends meet with little to no success. In her absence, the older kids were raising the younger ones. Adult supervision did not exist. Before the start of fifth grade, we moved to our fourth rental place since the divorce. The warden's father owned a three-family house. By this time, most of the older siblings had decided to quit school, get jobs, and seek a better life for themselves. As each of the six older kids quit school, my father's child support payments went down. With less child support came more days with no heat, no hot water, no phone, and an empty refrigerator. Sometimes the best meal of the day was the free lunch at school. We lived on one floor, and the warden and his father lived on another. Living in a city and starting a new school was a scary and lonely time for me. I felt like I was invisible. The warden exploited this and started to show me the attention I was starving for. I thought he loved me. He told me he did. I didn't know he was grooming me for his sick, twisted pleasures. That year, I missed 31 days of school. No one seemed to notice, and no one seemed to care. That was the worst year of my life, and I was still promoted to the sixth grade. I hated my new school. If I wasn't at school being verbally and emotionally abused by the nun, I was home being sexually abused by the warden. It was like I died as a child at the age of 10, skipping adolescence and the teen years, and went straight to adulthood. The following year, I started a new school. I made friends and avoided being home. My new friends and I would hang out, smoke pot, get drunk, and get into trouble. I figured that if I avoided being home and stayed away from the warden, the abuse would go away. My plan worked pretty good, or so I thought. He stopped sexually abusing me, anyways. During high school, my mother and the warden broke up, and we moved to a new apartment. I was glad he was out of my life forever, or so I thought. The warden was gone in the physical sense, but the wounds he inflicted on me would stay with me throughout my incarceration. The scars from those wounds are invisible on the outside, but rather hidden on the inside. One day after the breakup, we had visitors. The visitors were federal agents. Turns out the warden was involved with child pornography. He also abused other kids. It wasn't just me, but rather me too. My mother was asked if she thought anything happened to her kids. She said no. I just sat there like that 10-year-old kid with the cellmates, keeping that secret. On the inside, I felt sick to my stomach. I was thinking that my silence enabled that monster to abuse other kids. I blamed myself for what happened to the others. I didn't understand it at the time, but my silence was a coping skill I learned early on. As a little boy, I did what I had to do to survive the abuse and the trauma, and that's okay. If I hadn't, I probably wouldn't be here today sharing my story with you. After I graduated high school, it was my time to start a new life. I married my best friend. My wife was the first person in my life that truly loved me and that I could trust. Saying I do was the best decision I ever made in my life. We did some traveling, bought a house, and decided to start a family. The cellmates were still with me, just lurking in the background. Our first child was born with lissencephaly. The prognosis wasn't good. Her brain wasn't fully developed. She wasn't going to live very long. Jenna Rose died at 9 months. It was a sad time for my wife and I, but we had family and friends to help us cope and grieve our child's death. I didn't have anyone to help me get through what felt like my own childhood death 20 years earlier. Over the next few years, we were blessed with a healthy girl and boy. Things were going good. We owned a house, had good jobs, and two healthy kids. Then September 11th happened. It was such a sad time for our nation and me. The events of 9/11 seemed to unlock my jail cell. All the feelings that 10-year-old boy kept inside came rushing out. I was overwhelmed with feelings of dissociation, sadness, fear, isolation, anger, and depression. It was like the cellmate started a riot inside of me. January 28th, 2002 was the day that would change my life forever. I got so drunk the day before that I blacked out. My wife told me I was out of control. She said I was a different person when I got like that. I could see the disappointment in her face. I felt so ashamed of myself. My family didn't deserve this. I felt like everything I had worked for was slipping away from me. My wife told me I needed to get help. I remember thinking to myself, I might not have had a dad growing up, but what kind of dad am I if I can't even take care of myself? How the fuck am I going to take care of the three most important people in my life? I knew I couldn't fix this by myself, and I needed help. I felt like a broken man. That day, I called my employee assistance plan at work to get help. After that call, I met the first of two of the most caring and compassionate therapists. They will always have a special place in my heart. Her name was Wendy. With Wendy's help, I was released from the warden, the prison, and the cellmates. I learned that the abuse impacted how I felt, believed, reacted, behaved, and lived my life. After what seemed like a truckload of $25 copays, I was ready for something else. That's when Wendy told me about the Boston Area Rape Crisis Center, or BAC. BAC provides free male survivor workshops. I don't know I didn't know there was services available to male survivors in a group setting. I signed up and attended my first of two workshops in 2014. I was quickly able to make a connection with the other male survivors in a safe space. The group genuinely wanted to help me and each other. We learned about tools and resources to help us respond to the triggers associated with trauma proactively opposed to reactively. At Bach, I met guys from all walks of life, from doctors, teachers, writers, and laborers. The men from these groups gave me something I will always be grateful for. They gave me support, compassion, and understanding. Some of these men are still an important part of my life today. By the way, Bach is where I met that second incredible therapist. Her name is Sharon. After attending the workshops, I decided I wanted to pay it forward for all the help I received. That is when I signed up for the Bach Survivor Speaker Bureau training workshops. These workshops are for survivors of sexual abuse, all survivors of sexual abuse. After completing the training, the volunteers go out to other organizations and share their stories of sexual abuse to bring awareness. As a member of the Speaker Bureau, I've spoken at the United States Coast Guard and New Hampshire's National Guard Victim Advocacy training sessions, many local universities, high schools, religious organizations, and the Bach 40-hour volunteer training program. My wife and kids and some of my friends and siblings have attended speaking events to show their support for me. It has been such a positive experience for me. I could never have imagined that I would be here today sharing my story with all of you. Who knew something so horrible could lead to something so positive? I don't know where I'd be today without the help of so many people. I would like to thank Men's Healing, Men's Story Project, and Bach, Wendy and Sharon, the Survivor Speaker Bureau members, my family and friends, and my 2 MILF survivor support groups. You have all helped me along this journey to recovery. And a special thanks to each of you in the audience, taking the time to listen and allowing me to share some of the chapters from the book of Kevin. A little boy is no longer invisible, irrelevant, or powerless. He is proud, loved, grateful, and blessed. Thank you.